Salim mitenaand, and welcome back. We're now on to chapter 20 of the Fairy Caravan by Beatrix Potter. Paddy Pig continued to be poorly all next day, poorly and very feverish. The circus company were concerned and worried. It added to their anxiety that they should be detained so long at Codlincroft Farm. The farm animals and poultry were becoming troublesome. Sandy was almost as tired of Charles the cock as Paddy Pig was of Mary Ellen the cat. A change of air might do Paddy Pig good. It strikes me his illness is largely imagination and temper. Listen how he is squealing, said Sandy to Pony Billy. I do not like to take the responsibility of removing him without advice, said the cautious pony. Suppose it should prove to be measles. Sandy had an inspiration. Could we not consult the veterinarian retriever? Would he come, think you? You and your friend Eddie Tinker bit him rather shabbily. 2 of you at once. Perhaps he will come if you ask him, Pony William. If you would like to ask him nicely, and take my apologies with this large bone. Where did you find that large bone, Alexander? In the ash pit. I assure you, William, it smells. It does, said Pony Billy. I am tired of trotting on the roads, but I suppose it must be done. The sooner we get away to the moors, the better for us all. Jenny Ferret says Sarifra has rubbed her nose with gnawing at the wires of her cage, and Tuppenny's hair is all tangled again from want of brushing. But it is not safe to let them out, with all these strange dogs and cats, and Charles is not to be trusted for pecking. Look at the poultry crowding round the caravan. Mrs. Hodgson has been calling chuck chuck all afternoon, but the hens won't go home to lay, and the worst of it is that they are all clamouring to see the pygmy elephant. Tell them he has caught a cold in his trunk. That would be too near the truth. They must not guess that Paddy Pig is the elephant. Pony Billy thought for a moment. Say the elephant has gone to Blackpool. Now, that's a good idea, and if Charles asks me one more impertinent question, I'll pull his tail feathers out. Pony Billy looked serious. Such a proceeding would be a poor return for the hospitality of Codlincroft. Give them some sort of show, Sandy, while I'm away. Consult Jenny Ferret. So Pony Billy trotted away once more, and Sandy and Jenny Ferret determined to give the best performance that could be arranged under the circumstances. Icky Shepster flew with invitations gratis, and there was quite a full house in the orchard. There were ducks, pigs, poultry, turkeys, 2 farm dogs, and the cat, which was a great disappointment for the mice, who had counted upon coming. And there was also 4 calves, a cow, a pet lamb, and a number of sparrows. It would have meant a good bit of corn for us if they had all paid for tickets, said Sandy regretfully. But then the sparrows would not have come, and I have doubts about Charles. He would never have taken tickets for all those hens. Sandy was inspecting the audience through a hole in an old curtain which was hung on the line between 2 clothes props. Behind the curtain was a small platform, in fact a box wrong side up, and behind the platform were the steps of the caravan, so the stage was conveniently situated in front of the caravan door. Icky Shepster directed the performance from the roof above. Are you all seated? Pull the curtain, Sandy. Cows, pigs, poultry and gentlemen, murmurs and chirtling from Charles. Dogs, cats, poultry and gentlemen, I beg to explain that a concatenation of unforeseen circumstances has caused this performance to be curtailed gratis. Hear, hear, chirped the sparrows. Because Mr. Pony William isn't here, and Mr. Patrick Pig is unwell, and the pygmy elephant has gone to Blackpool, wherefore... Cluck, 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 cluck. When do you expect him back? Interrupted Charles. Has gone to Blackpool for a month, wherefore the rest of us will present a dramatic sketch in 6 scenes accompanied by recitations.
I should also say that the live polecats and weasels are poorly, but the fat dormouse of Salisbury will be exhibited in a cage on account of the cat. Otherwise, the Sultan... Cluck, 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 cluck. My hens would prefer not to see the polecats. You ain't gonna save 'em. Act 1, Scene 1, said Icky Shepster. The door of the caravan opened, and Jenny Ferret came down the steps onto the stage. She did always dress like an old woman, but this time she was dressed more so. She wore a white frilled much cap and spectacles. She carried a plate and was followed by Sandy. Icky Shepster, up above, recited, Old Mother Hubbard, she went to the cupboard to get her poor doggy a bone. When she got there, the cupboard was bare, so the poor doggy had none. Jenny Ferret looked inside an up-ended, perfectly empty biscuit canister, which was the only piece of furniture on the stage. In dumb show she condoled with Sandy, who was begging pathetically. Then they both bundled up the steps out of sight into the caravan. Cluck, curr, cluck, cluck, cluck. I've heard that before, said Charles. Did not he act it natural? Said one of the farm dogs to the other. Not a single crumb. Fie, what a bad housekeeping, cackled the hens. Scene 2, said Icky Shepster. Went to the barber's to buy him a wig. When she came back, he was dancing a jig.
For this scene, Sandy came on first by himself. He danced a lively pas seul, spinning round and pirouetting. Jenny Ferret came out on the steps with a wisp of grey horsehair in her hand to represent the wig. She stood in an attitude of admiration, watching Sandy. Then she retired into the caravan, and after a few more twirls, Sandy fell flop onto the stage with all his legs in the air. What's the matter with him? Is he ill? Asked the ducks. Cluck, curr, cluck, began Charles.
Scene 3,
said Icky Shepster hastily.
She went to the baker's to buy him some bread, but when she came back, the poor dog was dead.
Jenny Ferret wrung her hands over the prostrate Sandy. The cow appeared deeply shocked.
Scene 4,
said Icky Shepster, after Jenny Ferret had gone back into the caravan, carrying the unwanted loaf wrapped in a newspaper.
She went to the joiner to buy him a coffin. When she came back, the poor dog was laughing. Cluck, curr, cluck. I've heard the whole of this before, said Charles. He went to the butcher's to buy him some tripe. When she came back, he was smoking a pipe. Cluck, curr, cluck. That I have certainly heard, said Charles.
Sandy was becoming so angry that he could scarcely hold the pipe in his mouth, or restrain himself from jumping off the stage at Charles.
Scene 6,
said Icky Shepster severely to the audience, who, however, were all listening with respectful attention, excepting Charles.
Scene 6, which none of you have heard before, because I have only invented it just this minute. Play up, Sandy. She went to the grocer's to buy him some cheese. When she came back, the poor dog did sneeze.
Sandy relieved his indignation by letting off a terrific
tissue. Scene 7, and last, said Icky Shepster. The dame made a curtsy, the dog made a bow. The dame said, your servant. The dog said, bow wow. Cluck, cluck, cluck. Very good, said Charles the cock, while the birds clapped their wings, and the dogs barked applause.
Now, Charles, get on the platform yourself and give us something.
Certainly, with pleasure, said Charles.
Up he flew and commenced.
This is the cock that crowed in the morn, that waked the priest, all shaven and shorn, that married the man, all tattered and torn, that kissed the maiden, all forlorn, that milked the cow with the crumpled horn, that tossed the dog, that worried the cat, that killed the rat, that ate the malt, that lay in the house that Jack built.
Well done, Charles. A tale that was told in the city of Ur, of the Chaldees, and none the less interesting, although we have heard it before. The entertainment concluded with a few conjuring tricks performed by Icky Shepster, who was an adept at causing things to disappear. Zarifra's scissors were still missing, and the teaspoons were a short count. Jenny Ferret was indignant. She reproached the bird continually.
If you scold me any more, I shall fly away without giving notice, said Icky Shepster sulkily.
That is a loss we could put up with, grumbled Jenny Ferret. It is my belief you are feathering your nest with teaspoons. And what are you picking off red currant blossoms? You and that hen starling? Is it a wedding? Icky Shepster laughed and chittered and flew to the top of the chimney stack. He fluttered his wings and whistled to the setting sun and to a very pretty speckled starling perched on the next chimney pot. The ducks waddled home from the orchard, the hens became tired of waiting for the pygmy elephant, and came home to roost. The camp was left in peace. There were white violets under the orchard hedge. They smelled very sweet in the evening.
Jenny Ferret, please, please, let me out. I want to brush Tuppenny's hair. I want to come out, Jenny Ferret, said Zarifra, scrubbing her nose between the wires of her cage and tugging at the bars with little pink hands. I cannot let you out, Zarifra. The farm cat is sitting on the pigsty roof. It sits there all day long, watching us. Is that why the mice could not come? Yes, it is. Sparrow said so. 4 mice had come from Hilltop Farm on purpose to see the circus. The 5 others came from Buckle Yeet and the Courier. They are in the granary right now, hiding behind a corn bin. Zarifra gnawed the bars of vexation. I did want to see those Hilltop mice again, Jenny Ferret. Cobweb and Dusty and Pippin and Smut. Is there no way of asking them to tea?
I would not like the cat to catch them, Zarifra. A tear trickled down Zarifra's nose. Jenny Ferret was a good-natured old thing. She said Zarifra and Tuppenny deserved a treat. That they did, and Sandy agreed with her. So he consulted Tapitori the speckled hen. Tapitori talked to the sparrow, who roosted in the ivy on the walls of the big barn, and the sparrows twittered through the granary window and talked to the mice behind the corn bin. They told the mice that it would be quite safe, on Sandy's word of honour, to tie themselves up in a meal bag, which Sandy would carry to the caravan. In the meantime, Jenny Ferret had made preparations for a mouse party, cake, tea, bread and butter, and jam and raisins for a tea party, and comfits and currants, lemonade, biscuits, and toasted cheese for a dance supper party to follow. She brewed the tea beforehand, because the teapot would be too heavy for the dormouse, so she covered it up with a tea cosy. Then she unfastened Zarifra's cage, Tuppenny's hamper, and a string of the meal bag, bolted the windows of the caravan, and came out. She locked the door on the outside and gave the key to Sandy. Sandy had business elsewhere, and Jenny Ferret was quite content to spend the night curled up in a rug on top of the caravan steps, listening to the merriment within. And a merry night it was. One of the mice had brought a little fiddle with him, and another a penny whistle, and all of them were singers and dancers. They came tumbling out of their bag in a crowd, all dusty white with meal. No wonder Sandy had found the sack rather heavy. There were 4 visitor mice from Hilltop Farm, and 5 from Buckle Yeet and the Courier, and there were no less than 9 from Codling Croft. While they tidied and dusted themselves, Zarifra brushed Tuppenny's hair. They were all snod and sleek. She peeped under the tea cosy. The tea is brewed. We will lift the lid and then ladle it out. I will use my best doll's tea service. Please, Pippin, Dusty, sing us a catch while Tuppy and I set the table. First we will have songs and tea, and then a dance and supper, and then more singing and dancing, and you won't go home till morrow. Pippin clapped his little paws. Oh, what fun! How good old Jenny Ferret to cheat the pigsty cat! And he and Dusty sang with shrill treble voices, Dingle, dingle, dowsy, ding dong dell, doggy gone to Hawkshead to buy a bell. Tingle, ringle, ringle, ding dong bell, laugh little mousies, pussies in a well. Then Cobweb sang, Who put her, little Tommy Finn? And Pippin repeated, Who put her in? Who pulled her out? Who put her in? Chimed in Dusty. Who pulled her out? Little Tommy Stout, sang Smug. Who pulled her out? Then all the mice sang together, What a naughty boy was that, for to drown our pussy cat, who never did him any harm, and caught all the mouse in Grandad's big barn. But Pussy did not quite catch all of us, laughed Pippin. He started another glee. Dickory, dickory, dock, the mouse ran up the clock. Each mouse took up the song a bar behind the last singer. Dickory, dickory, dock, the clock struck 1. The mouse ran up the clock, down the mouse run. The clock struck 1, down the mouse run. Dickory, dickory, dock. There was singing and laughing and dancing still going on in the caravan when Sandy came back in the morning. Danke. Thank you for coming today. Hopefully we'll get the next chapter out next week. See you then. Auf Wiedersehen.